Hanya kau dari Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. 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 Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm really sorry for the technical issue that we had. I keep talking, but it seems like nobody can hear me. So I'm going to repeat a little bit of what I said to you just now. So welcome again, everyone, to English Massive Workshop Series with Miss Yannik Herawati, Principal Mentor and Curriculum Developer from Sekolah Bina Gita Gemilang, Jakarta. Good morning, Miss Yannik.
Good morning.
It's really a great pleasure to meet you all once again. Welcome, English Massive tutors, and also Bapak Ibu Guru from all elementary school and junior high school across the city of Kediri. Very nice. Before we get to the workshop session, let me just review a little bit some of the previous sessions that we had with Ms. Yannik. In the first workshop session, we discussed about the review of language teaching methodologies. The second week, we talk about the thinking classroom, how we can train creativity and critical thinking skills to our students. And the last session, the third one, we talk about authentic materials, how we can use authentic materials such as songs, perhaps books, menu book, things that we have in our daily life and make it as a resources for learning for students. And today our topic of the workshop will be about error correction and concept checking. And I cannot wait to start the workshop. I believe you also have been waiting to start learning today with Miss Yannik. So I guess without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Miss Yannik to start the workshop. So enjoy, everyone, and over to you, Miss Yannik.
Okay, thank you, Miss Antik. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Miss
Yannik.
Pak. Welcome back to
How
our.
are you, Miss Yannik?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you, Pak? I hope everyone is doing great today. Our topic of the day is very interesting because we are going to discuss error correction and also concept checking. So we've been talking about how to teach, what language should we use, and then now we are talking about how are we going to correct the students? Is it necessary? If yes, what should we do? And then also we are going to talk about how we are going to do concept checking and what is it the list of strategies that we can implement in the classroom. Okay, give me a few seconds. I would like to share my screen.
Namanya dikecil. Udah.
Karena agak panik. Okay. Excuse me, Bapak, can you please mute yourself first so that the rest can listen to the presentation? Okay, thank you. So our topic, as has been mentioned by Ms. Antik earlier, that our topic of the day will be error correction and concept checking. Of course, when it comes to learning, errors will be there. It means the learning process is happening. I don't know, that's just my concept of error. I think error and mistakes are two things that we can see when the students are in the process of learning or understanding something that we are teaching. And then concept checking is at the end is our, like, for us to measure whether the students understand or they get what they have learned with us or not. Okay. So our topic coverage of the day will be several topics today. The first one will be the difference between error and mistakes. And also, I believe that some of you got very young learners and also adult learners and how they are going to perceive error and mistakes in the learning the language. And then number 3, we are going to discuss ways of correcting. Okay, and then when are we going to correct them and why? Okay, the correction time. We are going to discuss also accuracy versus fluency. Are we going to focus to correct all of the accuracy of the use of grammar or pronunciation, or we will let them speak as long as the meaning is being delivered when it comes to fluency? Okay, and then the aims of error correction itself, and then concept checking and ways of checking the understanding of the students. And then we're going to discuss, there are two things or two types of concept checking. Can be concept checking questions. You would like to know whether they understand what you have taught them, so the concept that they have learned. And then the second is ICQ, is instruction, because in the classroom, usually we are giving them instructions, can be ways of to do certain games, ways of to do some discussion, or even you are explaining about how to do certain homework or project, and then you need to have the instruction checking questions at the end to make sure that they can do what it is expected from them to do. Okay. The first one is error versus mistakes. As you can read over there, the keyword about mistakes is that when they do mistakes, usually the students, when they create the mistakes, because it is repeated, and usually students realize it. Oh yeah, when the teachers like give them clue, or the teachers give them some direction, then they realize, oh yeah, that's not something which is correct. So they know when they make it, they know how to correct themselves. Okay, but then errors, usually they cannot correct themselves and they need explanation. Usually mistakes is repeated errors. Usually the first one, they make errors, and then it is repeatedly done, and then it becomes a mistakes. And usually when it is mistakes, when the teacher tries to highlight that one, or trying to give them the clue that they need to revise themselves or revise the sentence or something like that. And usually they're, oh yeah, it has been explained before, so they can correct themselves. But then errors, because maybe sometimes it's just the first time they don't understand actually, and they're creating errors. So some people might translate it like into errors are like it's something fresh that they don't know. That's why they cannot correct themselves. But then mistakes is something repeatedly done. The errors that repeatedly done actually has been explained, say that when the teacher remind them about the errors or the mistakes, they can correct themselves because they have learned about it before. Okay. And then of course, young learners, or they're more risk takers, Bapak Ibu. Usually young learners will say everything. They're more risk taker. They will say whatever they want to say because they are not afraid to make mistakes or errors. Well, adult learners, on the other hand, they know their image already. That's why sometimes they become more careful, and they tend to be silent in the classroom because they are not, mostly, not always, mostly the adult learners, they are not as risk taker as the young learners, and they tend to they want to be in the safe zone, not making mistakes. Because if they don't talk, they're not going to make mistakes, right? So usually errors and mistakes can be seen clearly or easily found in young learners classes. Well, for adult learners, before they say, usually they think first because they don't want to be embarrassed. But then for young learners, they are more risk taker in a way, so that you can see and spot a lot of errors or mistakes, and usually they are okay with it. But I don't know, later on, maybe you can share about your own classes, whether your adult learners, they are more risk taker, while your young learners can be a bit silent, or they tend not to take the risk. But then most of the young learners, they are into like, because they don't know, they are still not realizing their self-image yet, so that they are more risk taker. But then adult learners, usually they have very strong image of themselves. That's why they want to be in the safe zone, and usually they are so worried to make mistakes in a way. Okay, so there are a lot of ways of correcting. Usually, the one who is doing the correction is the teacher correction, okay? While for the peer correction, later on we are going to discuss, the peer correction is usually done by their friends. Usually, when you ask them to write something, for example, and then you ask them to switch the paper and ask the other friends to check their friends' work, whether they can circle the wrong pronunciation or they can underline the wrong grammar. But then the one who's doing the correction is their friends or their colleagues in the classroom, their peer. But then teacher correction is usually the teacher who's doing the job. Well, self-correction is actually our goal, where the students can correct themselves. For example, they are saying like this, for example, you ask them, what did you do last weekend? And then they said, I went. That's self-correction. Because they realize, oh yeah, the keyword is last weekend. I'm not supposed to use go. Instead of that, I have to use when. And then they correct that by themselves. It means self-correction. And usually when they learn more, and then they got, like, I mean, the language that they've learned is like, they've been learning that for quite a while. Usually because they know they're right or wrong already. And usually they can do it self-correction. They can do it like when they are thinking, when they are talking, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to say that, I'll correct that. So that's self-correction. Or it's more into the teacher correction or peer correction. Miss Auntie, can you please show the participants the video, because I can't show it over here. Let me send a chat first. Give me 5 minutes, Bapak Ibu. Okay, while we are waiting for...
Miss Yannik, let me try to play the video.
Okay, thank you, Miss Auntie.
Can you hear it? Wait.
Yeah.
Can you?
But not with the voice. The video.
Oh, okay. Wait up. Now?
Hello and welcome to the Teachers Room, the show that's by teachers for teachers. I'm Dan.
And I'm Shan.
Yes, she is.
And this episode's topic is...
So you don't correct every mistake in the same way, do you?
No, think about the purpose of your activity. So if
Yeah,
you're doing an
okay.
accuracy activity, you might want to correct mistakes on the spot and do this quickly without interrupting the flow and get students to correct their own mistakes if possible.
Yeah, because that would help them to learn where the mistake was and hopefully that they don't repeat the same thing. One thing that you can do is use a visual method like using your fingers. For example, with a contraction, I might say, I would like becomes...
I'd like.
Very good, very nice. And this is also good when the student makes an error where there's a word too many in a sentence or one word missing in a sentence.
I am agree.
I am agree.
I agree. Dan, I agree.
Yes, you
Agree.
do. Good job.
You can also use gestures, use your hands. So like if a student makes a mistake with tense, so yesterday I go to the cinema, just show them. That means past.
Past.
Or future.
Future.
Looks like we're doing a dance.
What about if they put the words in the wrong order?
Oh, how about that? That can show, change the, don't hit me, change the word order. We study always grammar.
We grammar.
Always study grammar. We always study grammar.
Yes,
Why? We always study grammar.
because you need it.
Yeah, and if you know your class really well and you know they're not going to be offended, then you can make a joke about mistakes, particularly ones they make again and again and again. Be dramatic. What are you doing there?
I used to get my students to hit themselves. I mean, not hard, but when they made the same mistake 3 or 4 times in the same day, I'd say, that's it. Give yourself a slap.
You've made lots of mistakes today, Dan. Your face is going red.
And don't forget that also if you have a good relationship with your class, it's a perfect opportunity to get them to peer correct each other. They can watch each other's backs and support each other in the learning process.
Do that.
Teacher, my father is a strong smoker.
Your father is a strong smoker. Anybody? My father is a...
Heavy. Ah, heavy. My father is a heavy smoker.
Very good.
Thank you, Mario. So would you correct all errors the same way then?
No, so if you're doing a fluency activity, you don't want to interrupt the flow, break the concentration.
Break the energy in the room. I see,
yeah.
okay.
I tell students, I'm just going to listen, I'm going to write down, pen the right way, I'm going to write down some errors or language and deal with it at the end.
Ah, so then afterwards you might use them for an activity like a game or a roundup.
Play a game like a grammar auction.
Yeah, or hunt the mistake.
Yes.
Or you can set them for homework. I used to give them 10 sentences. These are the 10 biggest mistakes the class made today as a whole. Take them home and correct them as best you
Wow,
can.
that's a lot of homework.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Huh?
So they're slapping themselves, they're doing lots of homework.
But you've got to praise them too. You've got to say, hey, that was a good example of language. I heard that. That was fantastic. You should also give them the stick as well as the carrot or the other way around.
You've been really good today, Dan.
No,
Well
right?
done.
Thank you very much. Okay, class. Good speaking activity. Well done, everybody. While you were talking, I was listening and taking notes. On the board, I have put 3 pieces of language which you all said. I would like to know which one of these sentences is correct, which 2 are wrong, and why are they wrong? With a partner, go. Now, the tips we've mentioned are only our ideas.
And we know that you have lots of great ideas that you can share with us.
Over the series, we'll be giving away some of these fantastic t-shirts, and we know you want one, and one of them could be yours.
Yes. So to find out how to get one of these lovely t-shirts.
And to get featured on our show.
Yeah, you have to send us a tip.
Yeah.
Go to our website,
bbclearningenglish.com.
Ah, that's enough mistakes for one day.
Done. Do you want to hit me one more time, just for the camera? Ow! Bye!
See ya. That was fun.
If they did the same mistake over and over and over again.
Did the same mistake?
Me? Did I? Ow!
Made the same mistake. You've made a mistake, Dan.
Did I?
Again and again and again. Slap yourself. Is that how you do it?
Yeah. We have to do that again. It means I have to slap myself again. Again and again. I'll be like, hit yourself.
Show me. How did you do this?
Like that.
Show me again. I don't think we got it on camera. It's
not much fun.
Your face is going red.
Yeah. How many times is that now? 5?
6th time. Okay. No more hitting yourself.
Made the same mistake.
Is that it, Miss Yannik?
So back to you, Miss Yannik.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Miss Antique. Okay, so I think you have learned a lot from the video. It's quite short, but then I picked that video because they are teachers. It's coming from teachers, and of course they have their own jokes that maybe we don't understand why Dan kept on slapping himself. Just the joke that he's making, and the thing is, we can learn that there are a lot of ways of correcting the students. And then the when is also very important. Is it the immediate correction or you need to wait? So it comes back to the purpose of the learning that you are delivering. Is it the focus? Is it the accuracy or fluency? Because sometimes when students are really into it, they are taking the risk to talk. And then you are also as a teacher, oh, that's the wrong grammar. You need to wait in a way, right? I believe that so, because if you kept on correcting them when they are trying their best to talk, you kept on correcting them, they are going to lose the interest of talking. And then they are feeling like, oh, I'm afraid to take a risk to make mistakes. Because when they talk, of course, there are a lot of errors, but then they need it. Once again, mistakes and errors are the part of learning. It's undeniable. So you cannot just say that my class should be perfect. Can be perfect when it's written. Written is not so risk-taking compared to speaking, because when you are writing, you have the time to think. You have the time to think, and then you can erase. Nobody is listening to you. But then when you are talking, it's like so impromptu, right? People can listen, and then sometimes your brain works faster than your mouth, and you tend to make mistakes. And then you are going to pronounce the words. You are going to use certain grammars. Of course, mistakes will be there. But then I think we have learned a lot from the video. And I would like to hear also from the participants, what they've learned from the video, and then how do they connect the video to their own practice as a teacher. Okay, Miss Leah from EMAS, I think. Miss Leah, would you like to share some of your thoughts about the video, Miss Leah?
Yes, Ms. Yannik, thank you for the time. So from the video, I can learn that to correct our students, we can use some of the ways, and also it depends on the student's condition and also maybe the student's character before we correct it. For example, like make a jokes, not all of the students like to use that way to be corrected, but maybe some of the students will like that way because they can understand easily about it. And about peer, sorry, not peer, but for the finger, I haven't tried it. So maybe I will try that procedure or that method to correct my students'
Okay.
error and mistake.
Okay, Miss Leah, are you teaching younger kids or you are teaching adults or teenager?
Both of them.
Oh, both of them. So you can see the difference, right?
Yeah.
Which one is more crowded? Which one you can hear or see or listen to a lot of errors and mistakes? Which class, Miss Leah?
The younger learners,
Hmm.
because maybe they still have limited vocabulary, but they also have the point plus because they brave to talk about something without saying any longer. But for the teenager or the adult, I mean, they usually need the time longer than the children to respond to something. I do agree with your statement that maybe they consider about their image when they make mistake or something like that.
Correct. That's correct. And it doesn't apply to all classes, but most of the classes will be like that. The younger students will be lively and they just say whatever they want to say. They don't think too much, but then adults or teenager, they will think because they're afraid of being embarrassed or maybe people will talk about them. Miss Leah, would you please share some strategies that you have implemented in your class in order for doing the error correction?
Okay, I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Miss Leah, I believe you've been doing a lot of error correction, right? Is there any strategies that you can share with us that you have done and you think is very effective in your class? What would it be, Miss?
I usually correct my students' error by let them to finish their sentence first for the children. So, for example, I ask them to describe or to talk about something, and until they finish their sentences, I ask, okay, so thank you, you have talked about it, and I would like to highlight something that is about this. So, for example, for it, you cannot use have, but you must use has like that. And that is for one class, and for the other class, sometimes I just make a whole class present, all of them present, and then in the end of the on the lesson, I give the correction for a whole of the classes because I'm afraid then when I give directly correction to one student, makes it makes them it makes it makes her or him to be embarrassed or something like that. That they will be afraid to talk or something. So yeah, I choose different ways for different classes.
Okay, one very interesting question. I believe because you are an English teacher, that's why you can do self-correction by yourself. You did it when you are talking. You realize it when you would like to correct yourself, right? What about your students? Have you ever seen students doing self-correction when they are talking or doing something?
Yes, I have. This is especially for the students who already at the 6th grade or 5th grade. So they, for example, when she talked about something, for example, it have 4 legs. Oh no, miss, it has 4 legs. So for correcting themselves, they need a little bit time, for about 5 until 10 seconds, I guess. And she directly do the self-correction.
Okay, good. Even what I like about you, you yourself implemented self-correction because you are able to do it because you have the knowledge, right? And then you're erasing again what you said. And that's actually our goal for our students later on. They can do what you can do, like what just you did. So that's our goal later on. So of course, they still need help from the teachers, from the friends, but then I think whoever we are later on, as learners, we would like our students to be like what Miss Leah has implemented. She could do the error correction by herself. That's what we call self-correction. Okay, thank you, Miss Leah.
Yes, Miss Yani, you're welcome.
Okay. Bapak Tulus Widodo, are you there, Bapak? Bapak Tulus?
Hello,
Hello, Bapak.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well, Bapak.
Okay.
Bapak Tulus, where are you teaching at the moment?
I'm teaching at SMP IDPK
Oh, okay. So they are teenagers, right?
Junior High School, yeah.
Okay. So
Right.
what is it like the error correction in your class, Bapak Tulus? Maybe you can share.
Mostly our student is they came from different background, mostly special needs children,
Oh, okay.
African. So I must divide them into some group because we are small class, and then a lot of picture and then audio visual, so they can learn iteratively, because if we just give them like this, when I write something on blackboard, and yeah, I just tell them to write the material. They just they don't know anything, because if I use full English, they just don't know. So I use mix mostly Indonesian, and then just I translate into English.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Bapak Tulus. Bapak Tulus, what can you learn from the video that we watched together before? Anything new that you can implement for your own class later on?
I think in one of my class, I can do that because we have one class of the 8th graders. This is the class that I really like, because the student not mostly regular, not the Africa, only one or two student, and they excited for new method, and that's what people learning English, mostly with games and then picture, something like that.
Okay.
Mostly with games, and then I'm sorry, I can't turn on my video because I'm in the middle of learning activity. So
Okay. No problem, Bapak. Thank you, Bapak Tulus.
you're welcome.
Okay, I would like to continue the presentation. Let me try to share first. To reshare. Wait. Okay. So we have talked about the correction time before. In the video, you know that sometimes when it comes to fluency, we need to wait, and why we have to do it. So there are a lot of ways of doing the correction time, when and why. First, you do it immediately. Sometimes when the students are doing the writing, or when it is the focus of the activity is accuracy, you can do it immediately. But then when the focus is more into the fluency and the students are enjoying the activity, we can do the delayed correction time. But then as a note, like what the video has also explained, that actually as a teacher, once again, student-centered learning, meaning teachers are always around to monitor what's going on. and that's the thing that we have to do when it is delayed correction time. Teachers should move around, and you have a little note. You have to be able to write it down, and in a way that the student don't feel like, oh, I'm making mistakes when teachers are writing something. You write it in a way so that student will not feel that they are being monitored. You write down, you jot down with some notes, and then you write down the errors or mistakes that they are making while they are talking. And then at the end of the session of the production time or after the speaking activity, you can discuss that together. You don't have to explain everything, the correct way of saying something. You can give it to the floor first. You can ask the students, oh, what do you think of the first sentence, the second sentence? And who knows, most of the students can do the correction. So the correction will come from the other students instead of everything is done by the teacher. So I think error correction is very important. But then, it can be also very dangerous if we do it not in a proper way. So we have to make sure that this error correction, the purpose of the error correction is to help the students to be back to the track so that they can use the accurate English language production. But then without them feeling that they are being, being monitored closely, and then they are afraid to make mistakes. In a way, if you can provide an environment or situation when they are given the chance to make mistakes, and it's okay, we celebrate the mistakes in a way so that the students will feel, oh, it's okay, I just say, and then later on teachers will help me. But then instead of you are moving around and, oh, this is wrong. When somebody's saying something wrong, and then you say, hey, you are wrong. And then you interrupted them when they are talking. Of course, it's going to create another trouble for the students. That's why error correction is very valuable, very important in order to develop the student skills, but then can be very dangerous if we don't implement the error correction in the right moment and not in the right way. That's why error correction is needed, because as I mentioned earlier, in the process of learning, mistakes and errors happens not only when we are learning English, it happens when we are learning math, learning science. But then it's very good on how we are going to bring the student back to the track, and then when we are doing it, okay? We are done with the concept check, the error correction, and then later on we are going to discuss and try to connect with the concept checking. So concept checking, usually error correction is done or monitored during the lesson, and then it's more into the teacher would like to give them the students guidance or like bring them back to the right track when they are making mistakes, right? But then concept checking is like for you to see whether your learning is effective, whether the students understand what you are teaching. Once again, the word understand is very hard to translate. It's very hard to understand. Understand is hard to understand in a way because it's in their brain, right? You cannot think or you cannot just predict whether the students understand or not, because the process of understanding is in their brain. And then to make sure that you can measure their understanding, of course, you have to make sure you know what you have to do the concept checking. That's why we start from making our lesson objective clearly, because the lesson objective is the students are able to understand the different, the students are able to understand simple present tense. How are you going to measure that? Because the word understanding is very hard to measure. But then in order to know the understanding, of course, you can use the word, oh, they can mention, they can explain, they can use it in a sentence, they can, so things that you can see and you can measure in order to check the understanding. But the word understand itself, that's why when somebody's asking, do you understand the lesson today? And then everyone said, yes. And then you are happy, students happy. But at the end, actually, that question is not concept checking. So checking the understanding of difficult aspects of the target structure in terms of function and meaning, that's the purpose of concept checking. And this is very important because when you are doing concept checking, actually, you do it in the middle or you do it at the end, or some teachers will do it in the beginning because they want to do the review. It's for you to decide later on whether you are going to reteach, you are going to doing the drilling, you are going to give them extra exercise. So that's the assessment for your learning process, okay? So you know what practice that the students should learn or what kind of explanation you should give. You can determine that thing from a very good concept checking process. Okay. So how are we going to do the concept checking? As I mentioned earlier, if you ask, do you understand? And then everybody say, okay, miss, we do understand, or yes, it's not going to achieve this aim of concept checking, because students will play safe. They're going to say okay or yes, but actually the question itself, do you understand? Do you get what I mean? If you want them to understand, how do you know they understand? Oh, they understand the use of simple present tense if they know when to use it. So you can ask them, when are we going to use simple present tense? Or you can ask, what kind of verbs we are going to use? And what's the function of simple present tense? That's the way you can do the concept checking. And if the students can answer your questions, meaning they can understand, instead of just answering yes or no or okay. Okay, there are several lists that you can do. There are several ways of doing the concept checking questions. There is yes, no questions that you can implement. You can use 50-50 chance questions. If you ask them, for example, to differentiate something, you would like to elicit their understanding, you can use this kind of concept checking questions. And then information questions, you elicit some information so that if they know the answer, of course, they understand what you are talking about or you have discussed. And there is also another one, discrimination questions, shared experience questions, life experience or culture questions. And then remember that answer, sometimes it depends, and I don't know, will give you the information as just as yes or no. Okay, so you can have several questions, and it's not limited to this list of questions, but then later on we can have a session after this explanation. For you, I would like to learn from everyone here. How are you going to, or how did you do concept checking in your class? Because the purpose of this session is not just you are learning from me, but then we are learning from each other. Okay, so I believe that 2 or 3 heads are better than 1 head, so that we can learn from your experience, and who knows, you can come up with several effective questioning ways of concept checking, and we can learn from you later on. Okay. Oh, okay. So for example, you are teaching, this is the example, you are teaching present continuous tense, and the focus is, the target sentence is, look, they are painting the wall. And you have, if you would like them to know the meaning of this sentence, and you would like them to know the function of this sentence, you can ask, because simple present continuous meaning the action is happening at the moment, right? If they got the meaning of it, you can ask, after you show them the the sentence, you can ask them, is it happening at the moment? Is it happening now? Right? Can you see it? Of course, when it is something happening now, you can see it. Or you can give an example of something happening in the classroom, right? But then the context of simple present continuous is something which is happening at the moment and they can see. Is the painting finished? Because it's still happening, of course, the answer will be no. Are they painting at the moment or now? Yes. Is this past, present, or future? Present. So if they understand this, if after you are doing the concept checking with them, so they know the meaning or the function of using this tense. Instead of just you are asking, okay, you have a sentence, or your target language will be, look, they are painting the wall, and then you're asking them, okay, do you understand? Or you are asking, are they using, can you see the to be over there, or can you see the present participle over there, something related to the, to the structure of the sentence. Sometimes they just know, yeah, because they can see it. But then if you would like to know whether they are able to use it later on in the real life, and they know the meaning, they know the function of the sentence or the grammar itself, you can ask this kind of questions. This is the example of yes, no question that you can use while you are teaching grammar to the students. Of course, later on I will look forward to listen to the teacher sharing their own experience of doing the concept checking in the classroom. Okay. And then now instruction checking questions. You have concept checking questions. Well, the intention is you are teaching certain concept, certain target language or new topic, and you are going to do the concept checking. For this, is instruction checking question is something different because sometimes as a teacher, usually you are giving instructions, right? Whether you ask them to do something, activity can be group work, or you give them homework or project. Of course, you are giving them, okay, we are going to do project A, and then the due date will be on this day, and then I'll group you to certain groups. This is what you need to do. This is the topic. You have a lot of instruction that you are going, list of instructions that you are going to give to the students. But then later on, instead of asking them, do you understand the instruction? Yes, teacher. And then, but actually they don't even know whether they're doing it in a group, or they do it in a pair, or they do it in as an individual activity, or what. So you can ask them, for example, okay, when is the homework due or the project due? So everyone should know the due date, right? And then what do you have to write? What should be included in the project, for example? How many sentences? Everything that you have explained to them, you ask them back. If they can get it, or they can explain it to you, meaning they understand what you are talking about. And actually, I think it's very important in case some student miss the information while you are doing the instruction checking questions. Actually, the due date is next Monday, and we do it in a group, not pair work. So sometimes it helps you to measure whether the students understand what's going on, they understand what they are going to do. And also for the students, the rest of the students, in case, because you are mentioning a lot of instructions, you are mentioning a lot of steps. So for those who miss several information, they can recall what they have learned, or they have recall what they have listened from your information. So this instruction checking question is very important, especially for teachers who are giving homework, project, or you are about to do some games, even in the classroom. You are to do some games and you are teaching them what to do or what not to do. Before they start, before the game or the activity comes into a big trouble for you to manage, better you do the ICQ first, so that everyone knows what's going on, and then you implement what you are about to do. Okay, so I would like to hear from the participants over here. Ibu Noni Narolita. Ibu
Yes.
yeah, Ibu Noni. What about in your own school or in your own class, Ibu? What kind of concept taking do you usually do, Ibu?
Concept speaking in my school, yes, Miss.
Concept checking, correct.
Yes, actually about the checking question in my school, wait, as you know that I teach in SMP, Arisala Islamic Boarding School, and then in my school, especially in Arisala Islamic Boarding School, is always apply in language of the speaking. Okay. And every Friday morning, there is the activity for the student, especially in speaking practice, for example, in English speech, and then for the teacher, especially for the English teacher, to checking pronunciation and then error analysis can correction directly about the student.
Okay.
And then when we are talking about the student, especially it is a differences, the student from the girl and from the boys, especially in my school, in Arisala Islamic Boarding School, really the student, the woman from the student in SMP Arisala Islamic Boarding School is better about the checking, especially in speaking, than the boys. Like that, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So in your school, Ibu, because this is teenagers, right? SMP?
Yeah, that's right.
Are they risk takers in terms of making mistakes or errors during the lesson, Ibu?
The lesson, yes.
Are they a risk taker? For example, they are like quite okay to make mistakes or errors during your lessons. Are they like that?
Yes, it's right. It's okay, yeah.
Okay. Do you do a lot of projects in your school also, Ibu?
Yes, that's right. Miss, as you know, that I'm still teach in 7th grade. Yes, I'm still teach in 7th grade, and because the students still 7th grade or still in the first, yeah. So there are so many of the error or what error, especially in the speaking. And then I say to my student, actually it's okay if you want to make a several error if you want speaking, but the important of the first is please try to speak in English first. Don't be afraid to speak. It's okay lah, never. It's okay, no problem what you say, but please try to speak in English like that, Miss.
And they are okay with it, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm okay.
Okay. Have you ever experienced a student made a mistake and then the rest are loving and making fun of the student?
Yes, that's right.
And then how did you address that issue, Ibu, when it happened?
Yeah, actually, if they make several of the mistakes, yeah, the first of the imagination from my student that uh, actually I don't want to try to speak again, because the first that they feel that when they speak in the mistake, they feel very afraid like that, Miss. And then I always give the motivation. It's okay, never mind. Yeah, it's okay, never mind, because you are still in the 7th grade. You are still have the long of the time to study more and more like this, man. And then I always give motivation to my student, yeah, especially young boys, Miss, because it is a different if I teach the woman, yeah, the girl or the boys. Actually really, Miss, if I teach the girl student, it is uh easier than the boys.
Oh,
And then
okay.
about the pronunciation, especially checking question or checking pronunciation, actually as you know also, Miss, in Arisala Islamic boarding school, the student is from many of the city. Yes, that's right, many of the city. And then especially, Miss, from my student, especially in where is in, for example, in Ambon, in Irian Jaya, itu actually he or she never say to me, ma'am, actually there is an English lesson in my school, and then I get the English when I study in Arisala Islamic boarding school like this, Miss. So when I teach about the speaking, especially the first I give the motivation. It's okay if you are learn with me, get many wrong of the mistake, is okay, but please don't feel afraid or shy. And then I always if understanding about the text, please understanding first what is 5W yang 5W 1H itu loh, Miss. It is because the importance of the information like that, Miss.
You got a very challenging group of students to teach, because students are from different cities, different areas, and of course they're coming from different cultural backgrounds. Of course, it's going to be a different challenge, right, for different teachers in different school. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Ibu Nori, for sharing. Yes, Ibu?
Yes, actually, Miss, about the checking question, actually, it is a very, the first, I think that it is very hard to teach here in my student. The first my target, especially for the student yang never get the English lesson when they are school or when they are study in elementary school, can speak, for example, one word or two words, it's better, Miss. Yes, yeah, Sam. Actually, is it true that you say it is very challenging to teach in my school? And then my school, Arisala Islamic boarding school, it is one of the boarding school. Yeah, it is one of the boarding school. So there are many of the lesson, not only for the public education like the English, itu not only, Miss. There is Dinia education, and then there is what is the Al-Quran education, and then it is very hard to me to practice, especially in speaking. It is very hard because there is what it means, yeah, there is the time more to teach them, especially in the classroom, Miss.
Correct, correct. So, Ibu, I think you experienced something different maybe from the rest of the teachers. First, like the students coming from different cultural backgrounds, there are a lot.
Yes.
And of course, the students, usually in assembly school, they got layered curriculum. They got Arabic, definitely heavy curriculum in a way, national curriculum, and also English is another thing, right? But
Yes,
this is the
that's
thing that we have to believe that we have to start from something small. Okay, and I believe that small steps will lead to big steps later on. So do whatever is possible for you to do. Maybe that's why I would like to hear from the participants, because I might come from a different background, I might come from a different perspective, but then I love it when I hear from you that, oh, Miss, for them to produce even a word is already challenging for me. But then, Ibu, you make a little step, okay? The thing is, your time, your achievement will be different from other schools or other teachers. You know your student much better than the others. So that for me, but then just make a little steps. Little steps will lead to big steps, and I believe they can. If you believe in them, you can. Thank you, Ibu Neni, for sharing.
Yes, thank you, Miss.
Okay, Bapak Denny Dewanto. Yes, Bapak Denny, where are you teaching at the moment, Bapak?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Bapak.
Okay, I am teaching at SMPK Petra.
Is it elementary school or junior high, Bapak?
Well, I think it is important, although it is simple question, one or two answers, but
Junior high school, Miss.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Ibu. Yeah, you are from junior high school. Okay. Bapak Dewanto, right?
Denny.
Yeah. Bapak, what about your students? Is it a group of students who tend to be afraid to make mistakes, or they are willing to take the risk to make mistakes during the lessons, Bapak? Would you like to share about it?
In my school, there are, fortunately, in my school, so many students are good in English.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm very grateful to be here because, yes, my students, many of them have a great passion in English, so they learn English by themselves. Of course, English, I give them materials, but outside the class, they learn, they watch English movies, American movies, they hear English songs.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's nice.
So, they have, most of them have a great passion in English. But yes, there is a few of them who lack of English. Their ability is a bit low, not really good than others. Their problem is like other students in other schools. They are afraid to speak. They are nervous. They are afraid to make mistakes. I said many times in my class, it's okay to make mistakes in my class. Everyone makes mistakes. It's to make mistake in learning. I said like that. But some of them, still dealing with nervous, shy, and something like that.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that most of your students, they're very good at English, right? Like speaking English. Is there any concept or topic that you think is quite hard to teach? And then how you are doing the concept checking in the classroom, Bapak?
Sorry, can you repeat once again?
Okay, so I would like to move forward to the concept checking.
Yes.
So we are not focusing on the error correction. Concept checking. Of course, in language, we are teaching them various topics or various concept, right? Is there any concept in English or topics in English that you are, or grammar points that you are teaching that you think is quite hard for them to understand, and you tried several ways in order to check their concept checking? Is there any kind of topics like that you do in the classroom, Bapak?
Yes, I think in tenses, I think they still don't understand what is the condition, the right condition to use a kind of tenses. For example, use simple present tense. Sometimes they don't know the condition. They just simple daily activities, and sometimes they, yeah, everything use simple present tense. But sometimes they are still confused, I think. And I, yes, try to, not to rush, I think. I'm a bit slow to teach about simple present tense.
Okay. Is there any questions that you use in order to check their understanding, Bapak?
Yes. For example, like, can you mention one kind of daily activities? What you always do in the morning, what you always do in the afternoon, what you always do in the evening. I was like,
Oh, okay. You elicit those questions before you are teaching them simple present tense, I assume?
yes, I asked them some question like that.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. Thank you, Bapak.
you're
Thank you,
welcome.
Bapak Dewanto. Okay, let's hear from the other teacher. Let's give a chance to Miss Desinta. Miss Desinta, what? Hello. What levels are you teaching? Are you teaching group of crowded kids, or you are teaching the calm and shy teenager or adults, Miss Desinta?
I teach both of them, Miss Yannik.
Okay.
Very crowded younger kids and also young adult, Miss Yannik.
Okay. So what about your students? Which one is the risk taker one? Is it the young adults or the younger kids, young learners?
Maybe the younger learner, Miss Yannik, because yeah, you know the situation. That are very crowded, Miss.
Okay. You have a crowded place. Crowded should be something meaningful, okay? Because everyone has their own definition of a classroom. I'm not a big fan of very calm classroom when it comes to production stage. But then crowded without meaning is not something that we are aiming at, right? So in your own class, when you see students are very excited in speaking English, and then you see that, oh, they got confused on certain things, or the way they are using the language is not proper, how usually you are addressing those issues and without making them feeling that, oh, I'm making mistakes, or they're feeling bad about it. What strategies have you implemented, Ms. Desinta?
Okay, maybe it is happen in my young adult class. So they are talk English much than the young learner maybe. I usually let them speak, and I make a short, what is it, notes, and then at the end of the session I usually repeat their mistake, and I hope that they notice what mistake that I said. For example, I sing my favorite song yesterday. One of them maybe noticed miss, not sing miss, but sing. Yeah. But if they didn't notice my mistake, I usually repeat my question with the stressing point in the verb. I sing like this. I sing my favorite song yesterday. Sometimes they didn't notice it, Miss Yani, so I keep repeating. Please pay, pay attention on my sentences. I sing like this. Oh, Miss, is it correct to use sing? Yeah. What should I say like that? So I make a mistake, and they should correct me, Miss Yani. Is it the I usually use this way, because if I directly correct them, sometimes they are feeling shy and they don't want to speak at all in the class, Miss Yani.
Oh, that's very good technique in a way. What about concept? Is there any concept that you think is quite hard for them to understand, and you have a very effective way in order to check their understanding? Is there anything like that in your classroom, Miss Desinta, maybe?
Okay, sometimes before I explain my lesson, I usually ask them like, do you have any question? And of course, all my students will say no, like that. And I will check them one by one. It's like, for example, the sound j and k, and I write cow, and I say them, is it cow? Correct or incorrect? They say correct means okay, and I will say another word like knee, and I pronounce it knee, and they say correct or incorrect. If they say incorrect means, so I will ask another student, could you please correct me how to pronounce this, and they will say knee like this one. Sometimes they also say knee, miss knee like this. And I choose another student. Okay, but blah blah blah. The name I call the name, and could you please pronounce this? Yeah. Yannik.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that whenever you ask them, do you have questions? And they said no, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the safest one. When the teacher is asking, do you understand what I'm talking about? Yes, that's a template. Okay, when you ask them, do you have any questions? No. So next time when they said no, you can ask, okay, you have no questions, but I have questions.
I have questions. Yeah,
for
yeah.
you.
I usually say that.
That's good. That's good because that's the. Do you know that the student will always say no, but do you think it's very nice to keep on saying or asking, do you have any questions for you yourself? What do you think?
If my teacher say, if do you have question, and if I have question, yeah, yes, miss, like this one. But if I don't have question, no, miss, gitu.
Okay. Okay. So do you do a lot of games or projects in your class, Miss Desinta?
Sometimes miss, because English massive base is the speaking activities.
Oh, correct. Of course, when there is role play, for example, right? Interview, of course, there are a lot of instructions. Have you ever experienced that you are trying to tell them what to do, but at the end when they do it, oh, it's a flop. Like they are doing it wrongly. Have you ever experienced that kind of thing?
Of course, Miss Yannik.
And then what did you do?
I learned something from my mistakes. For the first, I need to practice them. Practice the game before the real game. Okay, let's practice first, like this.
So you give them the model first, right? So they know what it is. Okay, okay. So instruction checking questions can be also helpful, but then modeling what you are going to do is also something good, especially when it comes to games, right? Okay.
Yes, Miss Yannik.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Desinta.
You're very welcome.
Okay, let's find another one. Okay. Ibu Nancy, Miss Nancy, are you there, Miss Nancy? Miss Nancy? I think Miss Nancy is not around. What about Mr. Narto? Mr. Narto, are you over there?
Yes, miss. Hello.
Okay. Mr. Narto, what about your class? Do you have any experience implementing custom checking questions or intelligent checking questions? Are you currently in the classroom?
Yes, miss.
Oh, okay, okay. If you are in the classroom, then I don't want to interrupt, okay? Maybe you can just listen because the student's voice is quite hard to understand what you are saying, okay? Okay, let's find another participant who are not in the classroom, I think. Let me see. Ibu Yesi Mariana. Ibu Yesi Mariana, are you over there, Ibu? Hello, Ibu.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Ibu Yesi.
Yes.
I know where you are teaching currently, Ibu.
I'm sorry, because I am a new teacher at SDN Dirboyo 4. Besides that, this is not my main school, and my yes, I teach at two schools now. Yes, my main school is at TK Negeri Pembina Kota Kediri. Besides that, I also teach English English subject for elementary school at Lirboyo 4.
Oh,
This
so
is
you're
my
teaching.
first.
Okay, you're teaching in
Yes,
kindergarten and elementary school.
yes. It is about a month at September up to October now.
Oh, okay. Are you going to be a permanent teacher also in the elementary school, Ibu?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. So, Ibu, what is it like?
I have no much experience to teach English at elementary because it is still only 1 month now.
Oh, so this is your first time teaching English in a way.
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
see. How is it so far going, Ibu?
I think it's nice for me because this is new experience. But I must teach the technique or new method that I must learn more from you, of course, because I have very limited experience to teach English in elementary or high grade. I mean, yes.
Okay. Any challenges that you can share with us? Maybe we can discuss it, Ibu.
Yes, yes, Miss.
Anything
Apa
that
Jen?
any challenges that you experience while you are teaching in primary school or elementary school? What's the hardest thing?
Yeah. I have no more experience now, but I share with some English teacher at elementary school, but we join at Gugus, but because my limited time, I can go. Today we must invited to join Gugus meeting, but I can go there because I'm still busy with my activity at main school at TK Negeri Bina.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
Okay.
So you are not teaching English back in the kindergarten, Ibu?
No.
You are not teaching English? Oh, okay.
No. Yes. At elementary school at Lirboyo 4, I just go 2 days in a week.
Oh, only twice a week you are coming to that school.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, okay. Do you love
I'm
it?
so sorry
Because
that
it's okay,
cannot
no problem.
sharing more.
No,
Okay.
you are sharing
But I'm
something.
happy that,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I can join this class. Yes. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Ibu Yesi. Okay, okay. Okay, last but not least, let's hear from Bapak Adi Nugroho. Bapak Adi, are you over there, Bapak? Bapak Adi? Bapak Adi Nugroho? Oh, I think he's not around. Let's find someone else, okay? Okay, what about I don't know, I'm not sure it is Ibu or Bapak, okay? Eko Sulistyowati, Bapak or Ibu? Hello, Bapak or Ibu Eko Sulistyowati? Oh, I think it's also not around. Okay. Okay, let's have Miss May Wu then, because I can see the face, so she's around. Miss May, thank you for showing your face. I love it because I can meet people finally. Okay, Miss May. Miss May, are you teaching young learners or adults, Miss May? Please unmute yourself, Miss May, so I can hear your lovely voice.
Yes, thank you for the time, Miss. I teach both of them. I have young learners, young adult, and adult classes.
Which one is the most challenging one for you, Miss May?
Adult.
Oh, why? May I know why?
Because I have 3 adult classes, and most of them are in around 50 years old to 65.
30 to 65?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Mature adult, right?
Yes.
Why is it so challenging, Miss May, if we may know?
Okay. When I give a simple instruction, some of them are forget. Although I use the basic instruction and I do the same sentences. So yeah, because karena mungkin juga usia ya. So in one meeting, I give like 5 new vocab to remember. And for checking the material that they know, I use it's like a simple games. And sometimes I ask them to after they are watching a video and to check they understand about that material, maybe about present continuous or a simple present. I ask them to go around because our spot in Musola, so I asked to Balai and then to the neighbor house, yes, and to observe kind of activities and try to make simple sentences using that form.
Okay.
And sometimes I use this game is like dialogue in pairs. And for young learners, I use run games. I ask them to asking to Mikado game sometimes or only showing their favorite numbers, and someone who are the winner can ask or choose their friends to make sure they are understand about the material, and the questions is about the topic of that day. Thank you, Miss.
Miss Yanni, you are muted.
So teaching the mature adults can be challenging first because they are, they have a lot in their mind, definitely, because they are adults, they have a lot in their mind. And past 50, of course, memory is quite a challenge, right? So, but then as a teacher, you will find ways, okay, for them to memorize through games or maybe activities or maybe some authentic materials that is connected to their world, because maybe Miss May is quite young compared to the students, right? So maybe you can pick so that, because if you give them the songs from the new musicians or singers, they don't get connected. But then if you can find stories or maybe songs from their era, maybe they can get connected or maybe they can remember better. Okay, so maybe you can get some hooks or some things that make them remember this more easily, of course, because, and then you can, of course, you need to simplify, because sometimes you think, this is something simple, that they get confused. Once again, their brain has been fooled by many things in their life, right? That's why the capacity is different. But then it do they attend your lessons regularly, Miss May? The mature adults?
Pardon, Miss?
Do they attend your lessons regularly?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good signal, meaning they are excited to learn.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So you find some, make sure the create. So this is your challenge, Miss May. When you are teaching the young learners, you come to their world. Okay. You are teaching teenagers, you come to their world. Okay, so that you can teach better. And then when you are teaching the 50 to 60 years old, you also need to come to their world. Okay. so that they can get connected with you better. Okay. Thank you, Miss May.
Thank you so much, Miss Yani.
No problem. Okay. This is the last teachers. This is the last example. I think this is the last slide from my presentation today. This is a very simple instruction that usually teachers give when they are giving homework to the students. As you can read for your homework, I want you to answer the reading comprehension questions that I have posted on Sanako Connect. So that's maybe from the website or learning tool that they are using. They are in the folder called June 2023. Of course, right? And then because you give them a lot of information and you can see the keyword is reading comprehensions and then posted where in Sanako Connect and then the folder June 2023. Of course, if you want them to remember, it's easier when you have them read the instruction so that they can take a note and jot down the important information. But then you can also ask them, where are the questions for your homework? Because sometimes you tell them what to do. Okay, you understand everyone? Yes. And then at the end, they ask, where can we find the questions? So you can ask them, what is the homework? Reading comprehension questions. Okay, where is it? Oh, it's in Sanako Connect in the June 2023 folder. And Miss May, for your mature adults, better when you are giving them instruction, give them the, printed on a page, you print it and ask them to read it again. Okay, so that, or if you have a WhatsApp group, you can post the instruction in the WhatsApp group so they can recall and review again, because their memory is different from the young adults or the young learners. Okay, maybe you can give it a try. You can give them the notes posted in the WhatsApp group, or you can give them a little note. Ask them to write the instruction or the new concept so that they can recall. Okay. I think that's all the presentation.
Thank you so much.
No problem, Miss May. Miss Auntie, I think that's the end of my presentations.
Time flies. Already now it comes to the end, but we learned so much already, I think, Miss Yani, and it's really great to hear many teachers share their experience correcting errors with their students. Yeah, thank you very much, Miss Yani, for making the time. And we still have one more session, yes?
Yeah, one last
for
session
the
next 2 weeks.
Okay, that will be on November 7th. November what? Wait, let me check the calendar. November 17th.
17th.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And good news for the English massive tutors, because there will be no independent work, for them, Miss Yani.
No more. Only two independent.
No more. Okay. Yeah, but Miss Yani sent me some reading materials, guys. So I've already uploaded all the materials that you can read on your own, on your convenience, when you're not really busy teaching and you have nothing to do. So please have a look at the Google Drive that I've shared on the WhatsApp group. So everything, all materials, including the PowerPoints from today, is all there. So thank you very much for Miss Yannik once again to join and share all the insightful techniques and procedures, especially in correcting errors and concept checking, and do concept checking. And thank you for all the teachers for joining us today. Hopefully we can see you all again next week from now on Friday, November 17th. So have a great day for everyone. Thank you. And that will be the end of the workshop today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam
Warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
Thank you, Miss Auntie.
wabarakatuh.
Bye-bye.
Check the screenshot. Oh yeah. Picture is good. Okay. Thank you. Okay, you may leave the room. Oh, not yet. Oh, wait. Can you please just stay for perhaps 1 minute for photo shoot? We'll take a screenshot, Bapak Ibu. So if you can turn the camera on, yes. We see more faces. Yes, very good. Pretty face. Handsome faces. Okay, all right. Some are getting ready with their hijab. Yes, okay. Miss Miftah will take a photo. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Put a smile. Okay. I guess one more picture from the next slide. Bapak Ibu, yes. Hold on. You can pause. Okay. Cheers. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Okay. So, are we good? Oh, the third slide. We still have one more slide. Okay. All right. One more slide. 3, 2, 1. Cheers. Thank you. Okay. And that will be it. So you're good to go. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Jadi, thank you. Terima kasih.